Hello everyone, it's Falcode here, and you are here in a Python 3.6.5 class. So this video is about how to create patterns, and the following videos will be about how high the level gets and how can we implement a for loop inside a for loop in next videos. If you have any problem understanding any concept, please comment down below. Everyone will be there to help you, including me. So let's get started. Click on the file, new file. We get into shape. Yeah. So the simple syntax for loop is for then a variable like I in range. Now you can tell the range that starts. So if I say n comma m, what does this mean? This means that this n right here, this is the starting point, and from the starting point the loop goes until m, but until m is not the right sentence that we should tell. It's actually m minus 1. So if I tell you like 1 comma 5, so the loop will not go 1 to 5. It will go 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. It will stop there, right there. So if you want to clarify that the loop should go from n comma m, m is something standardized for us, so we should write m plus 1. Therefore the loop goes from n to m. So if we categorize it like n, then n plus 1, then n plus 2, like that, and then m minus 1, then m, and then m plus 1. The loop will not go till m plus 1 but till m, and that's what we want, and that's what we're doing right now. So if I write 1 comma 5 and a colon, now the moment you press enter, it goes already on an indentation of 4 spaces or tab. Now write a very simple code like print I. Now what should be the expected output of this? Let's check it on. Let's first save it. Falcode py Falcode 1 desktop new folder Falcode. That's where we're gonna save it. That's where what you get. So let's just compare that. We started the loop from 1 to 5. So the loop goes from 1 to 5 minus 1. That is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if we check the output right here, why doesn't this work? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's correct. Now let's go to the next part. What if we want this 1, 2, 3, 4 to be on a single line? And why is it even happening on different lines? So let's get right. This is happening because when you, okay, let me explain the mechanism. How is this even working? It will get from here. The variable I with declare is actually it's actually a variable, not the classic variable, meaning I'm telling that it can change. So like for I, we're telling that a variable in the range 1 to 4, that is 1 to 5 minus 1, print I. What does this tell about? So the first line gets executed, I takes the value 1 and gets inside it. So inside the for loop, the command where we have printed it is print I. So 1 gets printed. So afterwards, when the command gets completed here, there is no code afterwards. So it returns back to the for loop and takes to value 2. Why? Because if we write this, what does this tell? The number that we write here, like A means that after 1 the next number will be 1 plus A, that is, it is incremented by A. So by default in Python, writing this and this is the same. That means that a number gets incremented by 1, and even if we don't write this, it's the same. It is in default of Python. But if you want to be incremented by 2, I will come later on it. So let's take it like this, and this, writing this and this is equally same. So for I in range, now after 1 is executed, 1 comes inside I gets printed. Now again in the for loop, the 1 is incremented by 1 and now it's 2. So 2 comes inside I, and after executing the first line, there's the command print I, print 2, and print after the before the print we stated was different, and now the print function is again repeating. So that's why the line gap was represented there like this. That's why we don't see the numbers on a single line, but it's on a new line on each time we do it. So how do we do it? Actually, there's a command that is end is equal to this. Now you might be asking, this is very, very confusing, but no, this end is equal to this thing. Now what is this? This is an empty string. What does it do? This actually connects the strings, concatenates. Now see, if I run this code, this will happen. It's very simple to actually think, okay, end is working like a concatenation operator, but what about end is equal to this? Now I will show you. What if I put a comma inside this, inside the string? So now execute the code. After each of the I, there is a comma. So even between the, we want to concatenate the two print functions variables. That's why we use end is equal to anything, end is equal to comma inside string. So the comma is used as a concatenation, so between strings a comma comes. But now we have a problem here. Like after 1 comma comes, okay, after 2 comma comes, okay, after 3 comma comes, okay, but we don't want comma after 4. So that's what gets afterwards. We can correct this, but not right now. So this is a very simple logic of for loops. Let's get to our next level. What if we want to, take the number from user? There's a syntax for it. N is equal to int input enter the number. So what does this signify? This int part, int and the bracket. So what does this signify? That this means that whatever inside it, let us input enter the number, it will be an integer. It's declaring its type in Python. So let's get into it. Input, enter the number. So what do we get after this? Input, and input is a function that whatever way enter anything, we enter any character, enter any integer, it gets stored inside n. So right now we have actually declared that it will be an integer. So let's talk about number. We wrote inside the function that enter the number. So after the enter the number, it will ask for us to give a number, and we will as soon as we press the number and press enter, it gets stored inside n. Actually in Python I'm deviating just a little bit. If we write x is equal to 6, it actually doesn't mean that 6 is stored in x. It actually means that x refers to 6, or 6 is assigned to x. This all of these things means the same actually, but it does not mean x 6 is stored inside x. This is actually very important. You must be knowing a channel, CS Dojo, where YK actually taught me this. I used to see his videos and I'm inspired by his videos. If you want to know the basics of programming, go watch his videos. I will recommend it to the far better. Okay, let's get to the forward-ish. Input, enter the number. So, okay, the number that we enter gets assigned to the variable n. Now if you want to run a for loop for I in range 1 comma n colon print I end is equal to empty string. I'm actually giving empty string because I like it that there's an empty string between them so that it gets concatenated. But even you can give a gap so that it looks cool, or any like character like this. I'm just giving this. Okay, so let's run this code and see what happens. Okay, it asks for enter the number. Remember, whenever you run a code like in which there is some input by the user, make sure the cursor is right in the end. Yeah, let's enter our number. What should it be? Let's enter 14. Okay, now you can see that even after every integer variable, that is 1 got stored, 2 got stored, and after each and every one there is a gap. We actually gave it in the end is equal to gap. So but there's a problem right here. We entered 14, but it's only up to 13. So how do we correct this? We have already done this, but I just wanted to demonstrate it how it works. We do it n plus 1 right there. Now if we let me get the cursor. Now if we enter 14 and press enter, we will get it to the 14. It's very interesting actually. So this is the idea of Guido von Rossum, but I don't know why he has done this. Maybe something very good. Now I will show you how to get the sum of numbers from 1 to user input. Okay, there was a mistake. So if I enter 14, I want to get that. Okay, give me the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 until 14. So how do we do that? Now there comes the actual programming. You declare a variable x is equal to 0 before the start of the code, that is before the start of the for loop. So you are right now, the condition is print I end. I'm actually not going to get inside it. I'm not interested in printing the numbers one by one, but I'm interested in summing them. So how do I do that? It's actually this thing. This code actually will give me the result. So I actually think this is the code I previously saw. I'm just going to see if it works, then to tell you how it works. If you do it till 5, it's 15. So is it 15? 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6 plus 4, yeah, it's 15. I will tell you now how. See, we took a number n that was 15. Okay, now we have declared x is equal to 0. Why? But why? I'm going to tell you right now. For I in range 1 comma n plus 1. Okay, I already told you that it already means this, and this means that the one is going to be incremented by 1 just after this code comes back here. Just after this whole process gets executed and comes back here, the one is gonna be incremented by 1 by default. So what happens right here is that this expression, wait a second, this expression right here, what does this tell you? Actually, it's very interesting expression. This x right here, it actually this x is actually what we will be assigning to. This x has a 0 in it. We actually gave it here. So always the left side thing is new, that is the right side thing gets assigned to the left. The left side one is not the one that has the 0 value inside it, but it's the right one. So what I do is I type x plus I. Now what does it tell you? First I takes the value 1, and now x inside x is 0 plus I, that is plus 1, and x is equal to 1. Now the code gets implemented again back to for loop, and again now the I is 2, that it gets incremented by 1, and now the 2 value comes down here, and now the value that x has is already 1. In the previous procedure, that is 0 plus 1, x was 0 and I plus 1, x is equal to 1. So x was already 1. So now it's the value of this is 1, and now I is also 2. So now 1 plus 2 means x is equal to 3. So after this 3, the code comes here in the for loop, and I takes the value 3 here, 1, 2 and 3. So now x is 3 and I is 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So you can see actually that it is getting implemented. 1 plus 2 plus 3. So first it was 0 plus 1, then 1 plus 2 is 3, then 3 plus 3, then afterwards we will do 6 plus 4, then 10 plus 5, and I will show you the thing. Now it's 3 plus 3, x is equal to 6. Now I takes the value 4, and here we come. X is 6, I is 4, x becomes 10. Now I takes the value 5, and now x is 10, I is 5, so x is 15. Now the code stops because we had entered n is equal to 5 in the previous code. So 5 plus 1, 6. It goes until 5 then. So the code exits the for loop, and here comes the final result, print x. So now x was 15, so it will get printed. So we can even write the sum of numbers from 1 to n is, or this. So actually use this comma right here. It actually concatenates by single space. It actually lets us write two different types of variables together. Like this one is an integer, a string, and the x is an integer value. Oh, another thing. So whatever I want to write inside this for loop, that is the condition I give, like this, or print, it must be on this indentation right here. It's just like the Java and C++, but this doesn't have any brackets, so it must be on this indentation. As soon as we go out of its indentation, it's a different code. It's not inside a for loop like this print. Let's check this now. What about 3? 3 we know it's 6 already. I know 6. But you might be thinking, where does this even work from? It's very easy. I can calculate 5, 6, 7, even up to 20 maybe. But now see, the beauty of Python is this. If I type a number like this, it will get me the result. Now I cannot manually calculate 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus until 1, 3, 4, 4 plus 1, 3, 4, 5. But this gives me the result. That is the beauty of coding. This is what I like. Give any number big enough. Oh, looks like it's oh. Actually guys, my laptop isn't that powerful, and after some time the result came actually. Okay, that's a number in billions and billions. So good that it took only some like 10 or 15 seconds, but it gave me the result. Either sometimes it even takes 15 minutes for some things to happen. So don't ever try some messy things or even very weird things. So actually we didn't get to actually print any pattern right now, but we'll be doing it right now. I just wanted you to go through the basics. Now we'll be printing 1 or 2 patterns for the beginner stage. Oh god, I should have missed this. Okay, even in making patterns, this is the usual line we always type, but here you will be writing enter the number of rows. Okay, and the number of rows. Now will be what are we gonna do is that we'll be trying to make a pattern. Let's take a simple one, like a box, right? Like this. So how do we make a box like this? It's filled from inside. It's filled from inside like this, like this. So in Python we don't have 2D, but we can make it through stars. Yeah, right, stars. Let me give you the example actually. Without for loop, how can we make a simple thing? n times star. Okay, print n times the star. Actually we're gonna be needing for loop here. Guess how? So I wanted to indent for I in range 1 comma n plus 1, right? It will go until n and print this. Let's try this code out. 5 Wow, that's actually a rectangle. So in Python, actually, my font is actually getting me this pattern. It doesn't matter. You can always give a space in between, like this. Now, if you execute it, it will be a square. But don't take it actually as a square. Why? After the star there is a space. After the star there is a space like this. After the last star there is a space right here. Right here. Right here. There is a space right here. So it's actually not exactly a square. But no problem. No one's watching that. Yeah. We will be now dealing with why only stars. How is it even working? Let me explain to you. For I in range, we know how for loop works right now. So for I, it takes 1, print 1 times star, and the last value n plus 1 is 2. If we enter n is equal to 1, then the last value will be 2. Then the for loop gets executed only once, because 1 comma 2, that means it will only take 1 and then get out of this procedure. So 1 times star, so it will get us actually only 1 star. If you try to run this code right now, 1, it gives me only 1 star. So what if we give it 2? If I give it 2, now n becomes pardon, the n becomes 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So the code right here goes 1 comma 3. That means it will run 1, then 2, and then come out of this for loop. So good for us, because we want 2 times. So what will happen here is the I takes the value 1, but we are not using here I is just an imaginary. I is actually we can take it I as a I, or even sometimes we don't take it. Like in this example, we don't want I in here. We just want the counting, that we want 2 times the loop to be worked out. So for I in range 1 comma 2 comma 3, that means it will go from 1 to 1, then 2. That means 2 times. So that doesn't mean that we want the I to be 1, I to be 2, to be so that we can use the I somewhere. We don't want it every time. So like here, we want print n times star. So my n was 2, so 2 times star. Now after this code gets executed, now I takes the value 2, and it's 2 comma 3 right now. So 1 2 3. So I takes the value 2, and now again n is already 2, so 2 times star. Now the code gets end. Let's try 2, like this. Now if we go to a bigger value like 4, n value will be 1 comma 5, and will go the loop will, that is, go from 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma to 4, because we have wrote this in this one here. So what happens is that the loop works 4 times. So we don't want I here, like I is equal to 1 is equal to 2. It is happening in bigger background, but what we want here actually is that we want the loop to be ran 4 times, that is print n times star. What will happen right here is that the n will take value 4, and 4 times star will be printed 4 times. That is 4 times in 4 rows. So let's check it out like this. I will tell you how it's working actually. You see this line right here. Wait a second. My cursor is damn gone. This line right here, it's at n times 4 actually. And what about the lines right here? How are these coming? These are actually coming due to the for loop. Like from the for loop, n is equal to 1 is I is equal to 1 is this, then oh wait a second, I is equal to 2 is this, and then I is equal to 3 is this, and I is equal to 4 is this. So this means that we are actually running the for loop 4 times, and we just want the it to run 4 times, and we don't want I is equal to 1 2 3 4 or something. But that is actually required in the other patterns, but here we are not using it because we want to code the simplest possible thing to do the work. We don't want to we can even, if you want, we can actually make this 3-line code a 1-page code, and fascinate people like hey man, I made this 1-page code, you cannot even make this is a big time process. This is not a big time project, and people will actually kick you out for this because this can be done in 3 lines. Oh pardon, there's a phone call for me. So pardon for my phone call there. So this is how it works. So 5-page code can also be done in a 3-line code, 3 lines. So don't get demoralized by other people's so-called big works. Be the smartest in the world. So this is a very rushed out video, and I think that I should actually categorize each of the things whatever you want. This was basically a glimpse of what Python can do and what I'm gonna get you in touch with. So don't get like, oh my god, I didn't understand anything, or oh my god, this is so rushed out video. But this is not rushed out video, this is just a glimpse of what Python can do. So see you next time. Comment down what you actually want me to make for the first. You want me to if else, you want for loops, you want patterns, you want to even a basic thing like assigning a character variable, anything you want. Or I have plans that it will be the simplest for easy use by everyone. So see you next time. Falcode here.